Very good afternoon. See, let me introduce to myself. I am Shiva Chaitanya. I have 17 years experience as a trainer. So today we are starting our course Oracle. So in today's session, just I cover some basic terminology like what is data, information, database, DBMS, RDBMS. So this basic terminology which we use frequently in our course, that basic terminology we discuss in today's session. So see here. So in today's session, we are discussing about data, information, database, DBMS, RDBMS, and metadata. So these are the terms. So among these terms, what is the first term? Data. So what is data generally? What is our institute name? That is the data. Okay, so Naresh IT is the data. This building, this place name is Naresh IT. Our institute name is Naresh IT. Naresh IT is the data. Your name is the data. Your qualification is the data. Your age is the data. Okay, so data means, data is a raw collection of facts about the people, places, or things. You can say data is a raw collection of facts. It is a raw collection of facts about people or places or things, etc. So raw collection of facts about the people, places, or things we are calling as the data. For example, the facts related to the people I'm writing here, just like student ID is 1234. What is this one? This is the data. Student name is Ravi. This is the data. Student marks are 567 marks. This is the data. Okay, so like this. Employee name. Employee name is Kiran. This is the data. Employee designation is clerk. This is the data. Employee salary is 6,000. This is the data. So these are the facts related to the people. Okay, like employee name, employee designation, employee salary, okay, student ID, student name, student marks. So these are the facts related to the people. The facts related to the places. Just like, what is this place name? Naresh IT. So in this building, total how many floors are there? For example, number of floors are 4. Okay, total number of rooms. For example, in this total 12 rooms are there. Number of rooms are 12. Each room capacity is, for example, I am taking 100. So this is the data related to the place. And what is the length of the place? For example, I am taking, okay, 57.8 is the length of the place. 57 feet, 8 inches length of the place. Breadth of the place is 45.6. So like this, these are the facts related to the places. The facts related to the people or places or things we are calling as the data. Next, facts related to the things. Like for example, okay, what is this product name? Thing name is smartphone. Thing name is smartphone. Okay, which company's product? For example, I am taking Samsung. And which model? For example, I am taking A71. What is the price of it? For example, I am taking 25,000. These are the facts related to the things. The facts, raw collection of facts about the people or places or things we are calling as the data. Here raw means what? Raw means unordered. Raw means unordered. Raw means unordered. Means these are not in particular order. Raw means unordered. These are not in particular order. And remember one point. This data is unprocessed one. Means this data is not in meaningful form. For example, we are writing like this. We are writing 25 here. What is this 25? We are not understanding clearly here. Just that is one raw fact. For example, the same thing I am writing like this. Student ID 25 I am writing. Here what is this 25? We don't know. But here what is this 25? Student ID. So this is not in meaningful form. We are calling this as the data. If the data is in meaningful form, we are calling that as the information. Here left one is data, right one is information. Data will not be in meaningful form. That is just a raw fact, that's it. Whereas information will be in the meaningful form. One more example I am taking. For example, here I am taking Ravi. What is this Ravi? We don't know. We are not understanding clearly here. Is it student name or trainer name? Okay, or patient name or doctor name or customer name or employee name? We are not understanding. But the same thing I am writing like this. Ravi. What is this Ravi here? Student name I am giving like this. Here what is Ravi? Student name. Here what is Ravi? We don't know. For example, here 567 I am writing. What is this 567? We don't know. But whereas here I am writing like this. 567, it is the marks value. So now what is this 567 here? Marks. So here, this left one, we are calling as the data. This one is data. Data means only raw collection of facts will be there. Those are not in arranged in particular order. Raw means unordered. Just raw facts are there. Whereas this right side one we are calling as the information. So if the data is arranged in meaningful form, we are calling that as the information. Okay, once again I am repeating, listen. So, what is data? It is the raw collection of facts about the people or places or things, etc. For example, student name is the data. Student age is the data. Student date of birth is the data. Employee name, employee designation. These are the facts related to the people. Facts related to the places, like our organization name, organization address, Amirpet, okay, Hyderabad, India, Telangana. These are the facts related to the places. Facts related to the things. Like product name, which company's product, what is the price of it. These are the facts related to the things. The facts related to the people or places or things we are calling as the data. And this data is unprocessed one, means it is not in meaningful form. For example, here left side 25 is there. What is this 25? We don't know. Is it student ID or employee ID or person's age or one item's price? We are not understanding. But whereas what is this 25 here? This is student ID. Here Ravi is there. What is this Ravi? We don't know. We are not understanding. But here what is Ravi? This is the student name. Here 567 we don't know. But here what is 567? Marks. So if the data is arranged in meaningful form, we are calling that as the information. If that is not in meaningful form, we are calling that as the data. That's it. So if this data is processed by the process of data processing, that becomes information. If data is processed by the process of data processing, that becomes the information here. So here this is the data. After processing this data, okay, that will become information here. So data is unprocessed one. After processing the data, it is becoming what? Information. Information is the processed one. Data is not in meaningful form, and whereas information is in meaningful form. Because of data is not in meaningful form, we cannot take the decisions. Whereas information is in the meaningful form, so we can take the decisions with the information. So these are the differences between data and information. Okay. So to understand this, I'm giving one example to you, one or two examples I'm giving. Listen. For example, you want to work with a computer. For example, you want to work with the computer. So to work with the computer, what I am doing is just I am giving one motherboard to you. Now, can you work with the computer now? No. You want to work with the computer. So what I am doing is I am giving motherboard to you. Can you work with the computer? No. That is one raw material which is used to manufacture the computer. Okay. Motherboard is one raw material. To manufacture the computer, we are using it. Like that, RAM is there. RAM is another raw material. For example, to work with the computer, I am giving just RAM to you. Can you work with the computer? No. So to work with the computer, this raw material is required first. Motherboard, RAM, hard disk, SMPS, okay, keyboard, mouse, monitor, etc. This raw material, if we arrange in particular manner, if we connect them, after connecting, what it is becoming? It is becoming one computer, one device. This is the raw material, directly not useful things. So these directly not useful things we are connecting in one particular manner. Now that is becoming what? That is becoming one computer. From not usable stage to it is coming to the usable stage by the process of connecting. So the point to understand here is, if we have raw material like motherboard, RAM, hard disk, SMPS, so we cannot work directly with the computer. These are all directly not usable things. After connecting them, that is becoming what? Computer. So from not usable stage to it is coming to the usable stage after connecting them. Similarly, data is unprocessed one. It is not in meaningful form. You cannot take the decisions here. Okay. It is not in useful format. If we arrange this data in meaningful form, so that is becoming useful. That we are calling as the information. One more example I am giving. For example, to manufacture the bike, what is the raw material is required? Okay, engine is required. So like that, in the bike, many parts are there, like clutch, brake, tires, okay, handle, etc. So many, those are all what? Those are all raw material. For example, I am giving one bike to you. Can you travel from one place to another? Yes. I am giving one bike to you. Can you travel from one place to another? Yes. For example, I am giving engine to you. Can you travel from one place to another? No, that is raw material. That is directly not usable thing. For example, I am giving tires to you. Can you travel from one place to another? No. That is raw material to manufacture the bike we are using. Okay. So like that. See. This is the raw material. So engine, tire, clutch, brake, seat, everything. These all are raw material To manufacture the bike, we are using this raw material. After connecting them in particular order, that is becoming what? That is becoming the bike here. So from not usable stage to, it is coming to the usable stage here by the process of connecting. Similarly, data is unprocessed one. It is not in meaningful form. If the data is processed by the process of data processing, that becomes what? Information. It is in meaningful form. That's it. Okay. So finally, the conclusion is, what is data? Data is a raw collection of facts. It is a raw collection of facts about people, places, things. Raw collection of facts about people, places, or things, etc. We are calling as the data. If we arrange this data in, if this data is unprocessed one, means it is not in meaningful form. It is not in meaningful form. So because of it is not in meaningful form, we cannot take the decisions here. Okay. So next one is information. Information means if the data is arranged in meaningful form, if the data is arranged in meaningful form, then it is called information. And this information is the processed one. It is processed one. And it is in meaningful form. So these are the points regarding data and information. So data is unprocessed one. Information is processed one. Data is not in meaningful form. Information is in meaningful form. Data is the raw fact. If those raw facts, if we arrange in meaningful form, we are calling that as the information. Okay. Now, see more about the data. See here. Types of data. Okay, so there are two types in the data. What are those? One is structured data and another one is unstructured data. One is structured data, another one is unstructured data. One is structured data, another one is unstructured data. What is this structured data? Structured data means if data is made up of with letters or digits or some special symbols, then it is called structured data. Then it is called structured data. So if the data is made up of with letters or digits or some special symbols, we are calling that as the structured data. For example, okay, employee ID is 1, 2, 3, 4. Only digits are there. You can say this as the structured data. For example, employee name is Ravi. So Ravi, only letters are there. So you can say this as the structured data. For example, house number or building number 1-2-123 by A, like this. Here hyphen symbol is there. Okay, slash symbol is there. Okay, A character is there. HNO characters are there. Dot symbols are there. Okay, 1, 2, 3 digits are there. Here digits, special symbols, letters are there. You can say this as the structured data. If the data is made up of with letters like Ravi HNO, A, or digits or special symbols, we are calling that as the structured data. Student ID, employee ID, number type. So digits are there. Item price, digits are there. Student age, digits are there. Okay, student name, characters are there. Product name, characters are there. Okay, house number, numbers, characters, symbols are there. So if the data is made up of with letters, digits, and special symbols, we are calling that as the structured data. Whereas unstructured data means okay, like if data is in the form of audios, if data is in the form of audios or videos, okay, or images or animations, okay, or documents, if the data is in the form of audios, videos, images or animations or documents, then it is called unstructured data. Unstructured data. Okay. So there are two types of data. One is structured data, another one is unstructured data. So structured data means if the data is made up of with letters, digits and special symbols, we are calling that as the structured data. If the data is in the form of audios or videos or images or animations, you can say that as the unstructured data. That's it. Okay. Employee number we are holding is structured data or unstructured data? Employee number, structured data. Employee name we are holding, structured data or unstructured data? Structured data. Employee photo we are holding, structured data or unstructured data? Unstructured data. So if the data is in the form of audios, videos, images, we are calling that as unstructured. If the data is in the form of letters, digits, symbols, we are calling that as the structured. That's it. So these are the two types of data. Next. So now you know very clearly about data and information. Now I want to talk about database. So see here, what is this database? You can understand like, okay, online students, my request to you all is, please don't type anything whenever I'm taking the class. Okay, after completion of class, I give time to you. I clear all your doubts. Because of having keyboard in your hands, please don't type every time. Be with the patience. Just listen the class. Next. See here. Till now, we discussed two terms. One is data and another one is information. Okay, what is data? It is the any fact related to the people or places or things we are calling as the data. So we are using the term raw. Raw means it is not in particular order. This is not in meaningful form. This is not arranged in particular manner. This is not in useful format. So that's why we are using the term raw. So raw collection of facts about the people or places or things we are calling as the data. Student ID is the data. Student name is the data. Marks value is the data. Job designation is the data. Salary is the data. Okay. Institute name is the data. Institute address is the data. Okay. So like that thing name is the data. Okay. Company name is the data. Like that. But this data is not in meaningful form. Here 20, what is 25? We don't know. What is this Ravi? We don't know. What is 567? We don't know. This is not in meaningful form. If this data is processed, it becomes information. It is in meaningful form now. Here what is 25? Student ID. Here what is Ravi? Student name. Here what is 567? Marks. Here this right side one is in meaningful form, so we are calling information. Left side one is not in meaningful form, so we are calling that as the data. So these are just raw facts. But here this is what? This is the information. So in the data, two types are there. One is structured data, another one is unstructured data. Okay, if the data is in the form of audios, videos, images, we are calling that as the unstructured data. If the data is in the form of letters, digits, and special symbols, that's the structured data. That's it. So next one is database. Listen, this term is very, very important. You take any organization, for any organization, database is important. They have to maintain the database. You can understand like database means complete details about an organization. Database means you can understand like complete details about an organization. For example, if you take college, you take any organization, that organization must maintain database. What college has to maintain? Okay, what college has to maintain? College has to maintain their student details. And students are writing exams, they are getting the marks. So they must maintain marks details. And student is paying fee, they have to maintain fee details. Student is getting scholarship, they have to maintain scholarship details, etc. Their employees details, library details. This one we are calling as one college database. Complete details about an organization. So we are calling this as one college database. Okay, what is there in the college database? They are maintaining student information, their marks details, their fee details, their scholarship details, their employee details, okay, their courses details, okay, their library details, etc. So these they have to maintain. We are calling this as the college database. Similarly, one more example I am taking. I am taking bank here. What bank has to maintain? Bank has to maintain customers details. Bank must maintain customers details. What customer is doing? Customer is doing transactions. Is withdrawing the money. Is depositing the money. Okay, is checking the balance. Okay, so they have to maintain the transactions. At which time he is doing, at which place he is doing. Okay, so they have to maintain the transaction details. They have to maintain their products details. So which type of loans they are offering. Are they offering vehicle loan, or home loan, or gold loan, or personal loan, or educational loan? Which products they are offering, their products details, their branches details, their employees details, etc. This we are calling as the bank database. So like this, you take any organization, that organization must maintain the database. If you take LIC, what they have to maintain? Their products details, like their policies details, their customer details, okay, etc. Their branches details, their employees details, their agents details. That is LIC database. For example, I am taking online shopping. For example, I am taking online shopping database. Okay, for example, take Amazon. Amazon database. Amazon is maintaining database. So what Amazon website has to maintain? They have to maintain their products details, their offers details. Okay. And they have to maintain their customers details. Customer is placing the orders details. Okay. So like this, these has to be maintained by the Amazon, etc. Okay, their suppliers details, okay, their employees details, etc. So like this, you take any organization, for any organization, database is very, very important. They work with some database. Database means you can understand like complete details about an organization. And for our personal usage also, we are maintaining our own database. Am I correct? In your mobile, you are maintaining contacts. Is it not database? Yes. So in the contacts app, you are entering the person name. Okay, his mobile number, his office mobile number, his mail ID, his address, like that you are storing. This is one database only, personal database. Like that, if you take college, college has to maintain student details, marks details, fee details, scholarship details, etc. If you take bank, they have to maintain their customers details, their transactions, etc. If you take Amazon website, they have to maintain their products details, customers details, orders details, etc. So like this, any organization must maintain the database. Database is very, very important to the company. So for example, I'm taking college database here. So we are creating like this. There is a table. Table name is student. Student table we are creating now. In the student table, fields are student ID, student name, student city. Like this, one college is maintaining student table. They're maintaining like this. Student ID 1001. Okay, name is Ramu. He is from HYD. Like this, they are maintaining all students' details. So next, to maintain their students' marks details, they are creating one marks table. This is marks table, student ID. Marks of subject 1, marks of subject 2, marks of subject 3. 1001 student got 70 marks in M1, 80 marks in M2, and 50 marks in M3. Like this, they are maintaining the data. Observe here. Here student is one table. In this, they are maintaining student information. Marks is one table. They are maintaining marks information. Like that. Fee is one table. They are maintaining student ID, total fee, paid fee, balance. Like this, they are maintaining. 1001 student, out of 15,000, he paid 10,000. Remaining balance is 5,000. So now you can say this is one college database. Now this is one college database here. What is this one now? This is college database. You can understand like complete details about an organization. So a student is the data table, marks is the table, fee is the table. So in the table, this data is there. Student table has students information, marks table has marks information, and fee table has fee information. So here related data items are there. Observe. This 1001 student, same record also stored in the marks. 1001 means, what is his name? Ramu. The same Ramu, he got 70 marks in M1, 80 marks in M2, 50 marks in M3. Okay, so now this data is related to the same person. So I'm calling this as the interrelated data. This is what? Interrelated data. And the same person's fee details are there. Same 1001 person Ramu. Out of 15,000, he paid 10,000. His balance is 5,000. So now this record, this record, this record, all these three records are belonging to the same person Ramu. So here, interrelated data items are there. This collection of interrelated data we are calling as the database. Database means it is the collection of interrelated data and it is in an organized form. Means it is in the meaningful form. So the definition of database is database is a collection of interrelated data. Database is a collection of interrelated data in an organized form. Organized form means it is in meaningful form. It is in structured format. Database is a collection of interrelated data in an organized form. So the meaningful data which is in the computer, you can say as the database. The meaningful data which is stored in the computer, we are calling as the database. That's it. So what this database contains, sir? This database contains records and fields. What a database contains? Database contains records and fields. Observe here. See the terminology. I'm introducing the terminology. Listen. For example, I'm taking customer table here. Customer is the table. Customer ID, customer name, and customer city we are maintaining. Customer ID 5001. Customer name is Sai, is from HYD. Like this we are maintaining. 5002. Arun is from Mumbai. Like this we are maintaining. So now here, what is this customer? Customer is the table. What is table here? Table is a collection of rows and columns. What is table? Table is a collection of rows and columns. So what a table contains? Table contains rows and columns. Table is a collection of rows and columns. Here customer is the table. This table is having rows and columns like customer ID column, customer name column, customer city column. These are the columns. So 3 columns are there and 2 rows are there. This collection of rows and columns we are calling as the table. Terminology is very, very important. A table can be also called as relation. A table can be also called as relation. See, in this example, 5002 Arun Mumbai is there. This is one student record. Is it row or column? Is it row or column? Row. It is a row. A row can be also called as record. See the terminology. Whenever you are referring the books or websites, author may use this kind of terminology. Record the term he is using means you can understand like row. A row can be also called as record, or you can also call this as the tuple. Tuple means row only. Or you can also call this as the entity instance. Okay, so this is the terminology which is used in the DBMS. A row can be also called as record, or you can also call this as tuple, or you can also call this as the entity instance. And here customer ID, customer name, customer city, these are what? These are the columns. So a column can be also called as, this is the column. A column can be also called as attribute. Or you can say this as the field. Okay. A column can be also called as field, or you can say this as the attribute. Or you can say this as the property. This is the terminology. So a column can be also called as field or attribute or property. A row can be also called as record or tuple or entity instance. So whenever you are referring the books or websites, if author is using tuple term or entity instance term means you can understand like row, record. If author is using properties term or attribute term means you can understand like column, or you can say field. So rows are the records, columns are the fields. So in this example, customer is the table, customer ID, customer name, customer city, these are the columns. 5002 Arun Mumbai, this is one record, customer record. So table is the collection of rows and columns. Rows are called as records or tuples or entity instances. Columns can be also called as fields or attributes or properties. So this is the basic terminology we have to know. So what a database contains means database contains records and fields only, rows and columns only. Tables will be there. Okay. Now, we want to create the database like this. So like this, we want to create student table, marks table, fee table, etc. So we want to maintain one database like this. So to create and maintain the database, one software is required. That software we are calling as the DBMS, Database Management Software. See, for example, if you want to watch the movies, okay, are you using any special software in your computer? Yes, you're using media player. Okay, you're using media players like VLC media player, Winamp, Power DVD. Okay, Windows media player. Using media player software, you can watch the movies. So like that, to edit the photos, are you using any special software? Yes. Photoshop you are using. Photoshop, CorelDRAW. To edit the photos, we are using Photoshop. To watch the movies, we are using media player. To read the PDF files, we are using Acrobat Reader. To create the presentations, we are using PowerPoint. Like that, to create and maintain the database like this, we have to use one software. That software we are calling as the database management software. The name itself is giving the meaning here. DBMS. DBMS stands for Database Management System, or you can say Database Management Software. So DBMS stands for Database Management System, or you can say Database Management Software. So why we are using this software? It is used to create and maintain the database. So to create and maintain the database, we are using one software. That software we are calling as the DBMS. Now, listen carefully. Once upon a time, before 1960s, we were not using computer to store the business data. So before 1960s, just we were storing data manually in the books. So we were not using computer to store the data once upon a time. Before 1960s, what was the situation? We were maintaining manually in the books. If you go to the bank, bank maintains manually in the books. What is the customer name? Okay, easy depositing or easy withdrawing. Like this manually, they were writing in the books. Before 1960s, that was the situation. In the 1960s, they introduced one concept, file management system. But this is not successful software. After introduction of COBOL, Fortran, the first high-level programming language introduced in the market is Fortran. Later they introduced COBOL. After introduction of Fortran, COBOL, we were started to store the data in the computer using files concept. But this is not successful software. We were getting so many problems. So many practical problems were there. So that's why in the 1970s, two database management systems came, like hierarchical database management system. Okay, hierarchical database management system and network database management system. Hierarchical DBMS and network DBMS. But these are also not successful softwares. We were getting so many problems in these softwares also. So file management system, hierarchical database management system, network database management system, these three are the unsuccessful softwares. Later, listen carefully. In the 1976, this RDBMS concept introduced. RDBMS stands for Relational Database Management System. Here, RDBMS stands for Relational Database Management System. Here, relation means table. This RDBMS concept was introduced by E.F. Codd. So, E.F. Codd, in one seminar hall, he introduced this concept, RDBMS concept he introduced in one seminar hall. He explained what are the problems with hierarchical database, network database, and what are the advantages we get with this relational database management system. And also he introduced 12 rules here. If any database management system, if it is not maintaining this, if it is not following 12 rules, we will get some problems. Like that, he introduced this RDBMS concept in the 1976. So just he introduced the concept, not software. Because of he is the mathematician, he used matrix concept. Matrix means rows and columns will be there. So that's why he introduced tables concept in the RDBMS. So here RDBMS stands for Relational Database Management Software. Here relation means we can understand like table. According to E.F. Codd, relation means what? Table. So like this, we maintain database in the form of tables. Here student is the table. So in this rows and columns, marks is the table. Fee is the table. In this rows and columns we are maintaining. So like this relational DBMS concept introduced in the 1976. Later, in the 1979, the first relational database management software, Oracle, introduced in the market. We are learning Oracle. Our Oracle software introduced in 1979. This is the relational database management software. Certainly here, once again I am repeating, listen. So data means it is a raw collection of facts about the people or places or things. The raw facts related to the people or places or things we are calling as the data. This data is not in meaningful form. If we arrange this data in the meaningful form, we are calling that as the information. Here, this left one is the data that is not in meaningful form. This right side one is the information. This is in meaningful form. Database means you can understand like complete details about an organization, like college database, bank database, etc. So it is the collection of interrelated data and which is in meaningful form. The collection of interrelated data which is in the meaningful form we are calling as the database. So to create and maintain the database like this, we have to use one software. Just like to edit the photos, you are using Photoshop. To create and maintain the database, you have to use one software. That software we are calling as the DBMS. So DBMS stands for Database Management System, or you can say software. It is the software used to create and maintain the database. So the DBMS, many different types of databases are there. Hierarchical database, network database. These are unsuccessful softwares. These are having some drawbacks. So to avoid those drawbacks, they introduced this RDBMS. So RDBMS concept introduced in the 1976. Based on this concept, the first relational database management software, Oracle, introduced in the 1979. This is the first relational database management software introduced in the world. So, what is RDBMS? RDBMS means RDBMS stands for Relational Database Management Software. So, Relational Database Management Software. Relational Database Management Software. So here relation means what? Relation means table. According to EF code, relation means table. So the name itself is giving the meaning. Here we are managing the database in the form of relations. So in this, we create and maintain the database. We maintain the database in the form of tables. In the form of tables. And this software allows us to store the data. We can store the data. We can manipulate the data. And we can retrieve the data of database. Using this software, we can store the data. We can manipulate the data and we can retrieve the data. See here. Let me give one example here. Listen. For example, my requirement is I want to open one net banking account in the SBI. Listen. I want to open one net banking account in the SBI. So I'm opening online SBI website. So online SBI website I'm opening here. Okay. I want to create one net banking account. So I don't have account for personal purpose. I want to create one net banking account. So I'm clicking on new user here. So we are opening online SBI website here. So in this for personal banking, we want to create one new user account here. So I'm clicking on new user here. Okay. So new user registration form we are filling. Observe now. It is asking some data here. Okay. Observe. It is asking account number. Just a minute. So here, for example, I'm entering account number here. Okay. It is asking CIF number. So bank is giving one CIF number. So we are entering that CIF number here. Okay. That branch code, all the details we are entering here. After that, what we are doing, we are clicking on submit button. Okay. So we are giving the data. Where this data will be stored now? This data will be stored in the database server. In the database server, there is a table. The table name is customer. In the customer table, there is account number column is there. CIF number column is there. Branch code column is there. Country column is there. Here, whatever the data you are giving, this data will be stored in this table. We are learning Oracle. Our Oracle is back-end application. In the front-end application, you are entering the data. This data will be stored in the server, in the database server, in the table. The data will be stored. So, to maintain that table, we are using what? RDBMS software, Relational Database Management Software. So, it is allowing us to store the data. Okay. Manipulate term is there. Manipulate means, for example, new customer is opening the account. What we do? We add the record. We insert the record. Customer is closing his account. What we do? We delete the record. Okay. Customer is performing transactions like depositing, withdrawing. What we do? Modify. That has to modify the balance here. For example, here, one new customer is opening the account. What we do? we have to add that new customer record into the table. Customer is closing the account. What we have to do? We have to delete customer record. Customer is performing transactions, like he is withdrawing the money. His account balance should be changed. He is depositing the money. Account balance has to be changed. So, student is joining in the college. What we do? We insert the student record here. Student is joining in the college. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so and so name. So and so city name. He joined in the college. We are inserting the record. Okay, he left from the college. We are deleting the record. So if he joined in the college, we are inserting the record. If he left from the college, we are deleting the record. His address is changed. We are modifying the record. So we can do such type of manipulations by using this RDBMS software. We can store the data. We can do manipulations like adding the records, deleting the records, and modifying the records. And we can retrieve the data. Retrieve means opening existing data. So retrieve means opening existing data. Retrieve means opening existing data. So for example, retrieve means opening existing data. You are checking the balance means what? You are opening the existing data. So from the bank database, you are checking your balance means you are opening your existing data. So retrieval means opening existing data. Manipulate means adding the records, deleting the records, modifying the records. Storing, we can store the data. We can do all these things by using one software. That software we are calling as the relational database management software. What are the examples of relational database management software, sir? Examples are like we are learning Oracle. Oracle is the relational database management software. Like Oracle, SQL Server. This is another relational database management software. Like SQL Server, MySQL, another relational database management software. DB2, another relational database management software. Okay, so like that. PostgreSQL, this is another relational database management software. So like this, not only these 5, many relational database management softwares, thousands of relational database management softwares are available in the market. This Oracle is the product of Oracle company. SQL Server is the product of Microsoft company. MySQL, initially it was the product of Sun Microsystems. Later Sun Microsystems purchased by Oracle company. Now this MySQL is also product of the Oracle company only. And this DB2 is the product of IBM company. And PostgreSQL is the product of Postgre company. So these are the different companies' relational database management softwares. Product is same. Relational database management software. But manufacturers are different. For example, if we take mobile. Okay, the product name is same, mobile, smartphone. Different companies are there. Oppo company mobile, Samsung company mobile, Apple company mobile. Okay, like that, here also different companies' products these are different companies' products. If you take laptop, the laptop, okay, Apple company laptop, product is same, laptop only. Apple company's laptop, Dell company's laptop, HP company's laptop, Microsoft company's laptop. Product is same, laptop only, different manufacturers are there. Similarly, here also product is same. RDBMS is a product. Different companies are introduced to their own softwares. So among these most famous relational database management software is Oracle. So we are learning this Oracle. So this is about RDBMS. Okay. So now I'm stopping the session here. So in today's session, just we discussed about what is data, information, database, DBMS, RDBMS. These 5 terms we introduced. Okay, data means it is the raw collection of facts about the people or places or things. It is not in meaningful form. If the data is in the meaningful form, we are calling that as the information. Database means it is the collection of interrelated data and it is in the meaningful form. So to create and maintain the database, we use one software that we are calling as the DBMS. If we maintain the database in the form of tables, that is called relational DBMS. That's it. Coming to the subject, in our course, you will learn. Our course duration is 3 months. So course duration is 3 months. 3 months duration. In our course, just we discuss about SQL and PLSQL. So I'm talking about the syllabus. Listen. In the SQL, what we discuss, sir? SQL is providing 5 sub-languages to us. Like DDL commands it is providing. Okay, DML. Okay, DRL. Okay, TCL and DCL. So these are the 5 sub-languages. And in every sub-language, again some commands are there. So DDL commands like create, alter, drop, truncate, etc. DML commands like insert, update, delete. DRL select command. Okay. So like that. TCL commands are there like rollback, commit, save point. DCL commands are there like grant, revoke. Those all commands we discuss. In the first 20 sessions, just we discuss these 5 sub-languages only. After this, we discuss about built-in functions. Built-in functions provided by the SQL. SQL is providing many ready-made functions to us like number functions, string functions, date functions, conversion functions. Those functions we discuss. Okay, later we discuss about clauses in SQL. SQL is providing clauses like group by, having, order by. Those clauses we discuss. Okay. After clauses, we have set operators out there. We discussed about set operators. Okay. To work with multiple tables, Jan's concept is there. And to work with, so we can write queries in another query. That concept is subqueries. So these topics we discuss. So like table database object, view is there. We use another kind of database object like table. Okay, indexes are there. We discuss about views, indexes, materialized views, sequences, synonyms, etc. So this is complete syllabus on SQL. This is SQL syllabus. So we discuss these things. 5 sub-languages like DDL, DML, DRL, TCL, DCL. Built-in functions we discuss. So clauses in SQL, set operators, Jans, subqueries. These are regarding table database object. Later table we discuss about views, indexes, materialized views, sequences, and synonyms. And in the PLSQL, we discuss about PLSQL introduction. Like what are the data types are there? How can we print the data? How can we read the data? Like after that, we discuss about control structures. Then we discuss about cursors. Then exception handling, then procedures, then functions, then packages, then collections, dynamic SQL, and working with LOBs and triggers. So this is the syllabus of PLSQL. So in the PLSQL, we discuss these things. So this is the syllabus I cover. So this is the overview on your syllabus. So in our course, you are learning about SQL and PLSQL. So total course duration is 3 months. So SQL we discuss for 2 months and PLSQL we discuss for 1 month. This is the syllabus. Okay, I'm stopping the session here. Okay, thank you everyone. See you tomorrow. PLSQL means we write programs here. Write programs. Perform database operations only. Here we write the programs. The SQL we write the queries. The PLSQL we write the programs. Actually, to develop these PLSQL programs, we are learning SQL. If we have strong knowledge on SQL, then easily we can write the PLSQL programs. If we don't have knowledge on SQL, we cannot write PLSQL.